Recording in progress.
We apologize for the delay. We were having some technical issues and maybe we have those fixed, but we apologize for the delay. So we have 6 commissioners here. Commissioner Becker is the only one that's missing. So I've asked Commissioner Brinkerhoff to give us an opening prayer.
Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we're so grateful for this opportunity we have to gather as a planning commission and to be able to discuss the needs of the city and to be able to help make plans for our future. Thank you for this opportunity we have to serve the people of Payson and to work together and to in Jesus Christ today.
Amen. Thank you. Did everybody have a chance to look at the minutes for our May 27th meeting? Any issues, comments, or corrections? I need a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes those minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting on May 27th.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, turn your mic on. Oh, it's trying. It's rebooting. Okay. Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor by yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, now we're to item 4, which is public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone to speak to us about something that is not on the agenda. If you don't know what the agenda items are, there's agendas at the back folders on either side of the room. So I'll give you a chance to look at that and see if there's you were working now? Okay, good. Do we need to hold a minute, Dell, or are we good? Okay. The wireless is offline. It was doing this morning, by the way, when I was here at 7:30. So in the other room, yeah. That's offline, huh? Okay. Do you need us to wait or are you back online? You're recording again? All right, we'll keep going then. Did anybody want to say anything on the public forum? Okay, thank you. We'll go to our action items. 5.1 is the review and decision of a conditional use permit for a field house in the A5 zone. This is a request by Ariel Martinez for approval of a conditional use permit to place a field house on Utah County parcel 201029 located at 594 South, 2400 West. And field houses are conditionally permitted within are conditionally permitted use within the A5 agricultural zone. And Michael will be giving us a presentation on that maybe. And turn your mic on, Michael. There you go.
The presentation looks great from my computer.
But we can't share it?
Well, it's disabled until she connects it. So hopefully, normally I just log into the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Via
We're
internet,
having trouble with that, aren't we? We apologize for the delays tonight. Evidently, our system is having issues.
Just connected. Click on.
That's why mine's always on vibrate.
It says Payson City Council.
Maybe.
Are you guys seeing anything on your screens up there?
Only that, what you see up there,
Okay.
the exact same thing. So it shows that Anders joined and, the attorney's on.
Let me see if I can try to join via internet because it's whatever, it's not working there.
Can you join the meeting, Michael, now?
Let's close it out. We'll see. It looks like I have some internet. Okay. Let's see if it'll play nice now. Yes.
There we go.
Okay. So maybe I should back up and give a map of where this is
I
because
think that's a good idea.
their presentation doesn't actually show it in it. So
No.
let me do a quick Google map for you. And let's just pray the internet works for that.
It's in the directory here. There. It's just in what they sent us. It's attachment 3 of what they sent us. But that's just the county map. It's not a very good one for.
Okay, so I'm going to share a Google map so that you can see the proximity. That's not what I wanted to share. I think it's being troublesome because the computer's connecting directly to the internet for Zoom, and so it doesn't want to let me share the
Same screen.
screen as because it's already the Zoom. So I'll open another tab and hopefully that'll let me do it.
Yeah. I can pass around my tablet here. The people up here, but the audience wouldn't be able to see. Yeah.
Okay. So here's our beautiful Utah Valley.
Yep.
Zooming in here, you see I-15 there in green. And to the west here, this 594 south, 2400 west is the approximate area in that that field area that's like a reverse Utah shape is the approximate location where they want to put this. So that being said, I will share now the presentation. So they came to the Planning Commission with this conditional use request, I want to say a little over a year ago, I believe, and that's in your staff report.
February
And,
of 25 or 25, yeah.
There was several items of question that the Planning Commission had, and then there was some members of the public that also had some comments, and so that was reflective in some of the feedback in which the applicant took to address these issues. So this presentation, hopefully I can do it justice because it's the applicant's and not mine, but they tried to address those. And as we go through this, if you've got questions, feel free to ask. And then after that, I'd just kind of like to go through the staff report and share with you the staff recommended conditions for this.
Okay.
So this is, again, seeing that site that we saw on the Google image. You can see this conceptual site plan that they're showing for it with the building, the various parking. The access would be there off of 2400 West. They would have their own septic system for this building. There is that little circle on there is for a water tank for fire suppression purposes. So they've been trying to address those various issues there, and they do bullet point those out. You can see here the approximate size they're anticipating is 45,000 square feet for the field house, and they would anticipate 121 parking stalls. We talked about these a little bit, but it would be an indoor soccer and athletic training facility with the parking stalls there, including ADA space. It would be a year-round space for people to be able to utilize for these activities and youth events and activities of soccer and whatnot. We already talked about that one, so we'll continue on. They are, with their site plan, they would meet the setbacks. You saw where their parking area was located. And then it also has the internal circulation for emergency vehicles and people to be able to access the building from all sides. They will have stormwater management incorporated into the development of the site. We already talked about the septic tank and water suppression tank. This is just the site plan itself. I don't know that there's more to really talk about this, but there's just a few bits of information here talking about what their setbacks are. The building wouldn't be any higher than 35 feet. All of these things are part of our city code. And we'll get to the others before I talk about any more. Any questions on this site plan as you're just briefly looking at it? Do I need to zoom in or anything?
Just on the south or the south end there, is that being, okay, they are dedicating that as a,
Yes,
for the road, for the future road.
correct.
I'd forgot to look at that when I was looking at it earlier. So
So these were things the fire department were concerned about, and so it would have those necessary things for fire needs. We talked a little bit about storm drain and septic tank already. They will meet the county health department's requirements for septic tank and the well. They'll have to meet city standards for storm drainage. This is important. The road improvements will be completed along 2400 West on the side that would be entering the building. No road improvements would be done on the south side because there's not even a road there for one, and ideally it's a situation where we're looking for the dedication of the property for that future road, but there's no need for the road at this time.
would the development agreement state that they'd have to make those improvements when the road is punched through there? They'd have to do at least their
You're
half of the
saying
road
you're
and the curb
saying
and gutter.
that larger road that would be to the south?
Right.
I think that would be a good thing to consider in there. The hardest thing is timing because we're not sure when that road will go in there.
Does our code have a time limit on it? I think it does, doesn't it?
A time
Isn't it
limit on,
how long you can wait for improvements to go in type thing?
I would have to defer to Public Works and Engineering on that one.
Okay.
So
So that's something that they can maybe look into a little bit.
yes, ultimately, there would not be a development agreement with this. There's a deferral agreement that would be recommended to be done, and the deferral agreement will have trigger points for when they have to do the public improvements.
Okay.
If they are required to do public improvements for the future road, it would only be to the extent that they have an impact. So they wouldn't necessarily build what I believe that's intended to be an arterial road. So they wouldn't build the whole.
It is intended to be a large
Yeah.
road. So, but they would probably have to do the curb and gutter and sidewalk.
Potentially, as long as it's within that time range that's
Right.
that's identified.
That's identified.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a comparison for other field houses in the area. So they're trying to show this with parking. The Payson one here you can see is at 4,500 or 45,000 square feet and the 121 parking stalls, where you see other ones similar in size and significantly less in parking. So I know that was a significant concern, especially in this area, and not wanting to have any kind of parking on that street. So this is just a color rendition of the site. You can see the parking lot areas, the building, what the improvements would conceptually look like upon completion. Most of this stuff probably doesn't concern Planning Commission too much, but it talks about the stone accent columns, and we can share the architectural drawings to show that. We want to make sure that it's an attractive design and that it's harmonious with the surrounding neighborhood too. And so I'll show you some of those designs. So this is what they're proposing for the front. So this would be facing north into the parking lot. That's the kind of the look and layout of it. This is some comparisons to some of the other field houses in the area. So you can see that it has a equal to, if not better, design look. And it's not just a large warehouse looking building. This is the opposite side of the structure. And then some comparisons of some of those other ones. This is the field house facing 2400 West. And then some comparisons of sides of other ones throughout the valley here.
I have another question. There would never be access off of whatever that major road's going to be to the south, right?
I don't know the answer to that. If there was, they would have to meet city standards for distance from an intersection and things like that. But
Where it's a major intersection like that, it could be several hundred feet.
it could be. If there is, we'd probably try to do some sort of shared access with adjacent properties so that we limit the number of accesses onto a large road.
Now, will this road be state road when it comes in? Or is it...
I don't know that either. I think it's intended to be a state road, but the state won't take it over until we build it, basically. So
will they put their compliances on it?
yes, if it's a state road, it would have to meet their standards, and it would have to have any number of accesses on to the road meet their distance requirements and everything that the state would require for a state facility. And in order for the state to take it over, it would have to be built that way before they took it over. And so another concern was lighting and trying to limit the impact on adjacent properties. And so they created a lighting plan that would shield the light downward to the parking lots only and adjacent to the building. I think they have a lighting image that's a little bit further. You can see they're also planning to do shrubs and tree plantings in the parking lot area. We would also recommend, and this would be part of the site plan process, that when there's a transition between uses that they have to do some sort of a buffer. And usually that's a site obscuring fence, a landscape buffer, and potentially trees and things to separate uses that way. So. Did I go too many? Let's see. Nope. Okay.
That's the lighting lens.
So you can see kind of the lighting layout, what it's intended to look like on the building. I think there's another one for the parking lot. Yeah, so you can see there the parking lot. Next is the hours of operation, noise compliance, those sort of things. And we've also got some of these listed as conditions in the staff report there, but they're proposing the facility to close at 10 p.m. Our recommendation would be that all guests are leaving or have left by 10 p.m. and not have a match start at 10 p.m., for example. I believe their hours of operation, they only show closes at 10, but I believe in their in their submittal to us, it was 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. would be the hours of operation. Another item that's not shown here, but it would be a staff recommendation, would be that no operations go on outside the building. All activities are done inside the building. Questions on this before we continue? Okay. This is a comparison to what some of the other field houses do in the area. And as you can see, some of them have very early start times and even later end times, you can see. So it's probably quite reasonable for the 10 o'clock time that they're suggesting. And this is just a summary of what we've already gone through with their proposal. Any questions?
Any commissioners have questions, comments for Michael?
As a comment, I'm glad that they have addressed the things that we talked about that sent the plan back in February, because I know the hours of operation was a very, very concerning thing to planning commission at that time, especially as far as the start time and then also closing. So that's encouraging. So I appreciate those things being addressed in this presentation.
So all I have next is just the staff report. And I just really wanted to highlight with you the staff recommended conditions. If there's other conditions you think are reasonable, that can definitely be placed as a condition. It just needs to be tied back to an issue or a concern that needs to be mitigated. It can't be whimsical or something that's just you like the color of something, for example. So it has to relate back to a concern. So let me just scroll down on this staff report. So first and foremost, the condition would be this deferral agreement, and it would have those A, B, and C items that would be considered with it. First being that both this field house and the home that's on the property would have to connect to city utilities when they become available within 300 feet. That would also trigger B and C, where the home would need to subdivide off of the parcel and then therefore achieve a zoning designation more applicable to the lot size of that home being subdivided off.
And I would suggest that we add whatever the name of the road is to the south as part of that deferral, not just the utilities.
I'll speak with Public Works on that to see if that's something that they can do, or if it's reasonable to do, I guess.
If we can, I would suggest that we have.
Okay. Yeah, I'll speak with them about that. We talked about hours of operation, and that would be one of those conditions. And as you can see, we wanted to clarify what 10 o'clock meant, and that was that all guests are leaving at that time. Another one that the police chief wanted to make sure was that there's no parking to be allowed on any unimproved public streets that do not contain the adequate curb, gutter, sidewalk, and room for off-street parking. Now, they're required to have all their off-street parking anyways, but we just want to make it clear that none of their guests should be parking
along 24
on the street
or anywhere else along the streets. Yeah,
it is legal to park on the street throughout the city if it's got the adequate width to do so. And that's why it's phrased in such a way there. But they're required to have their need of off-street parking, which they more than qualify for with the 121 stalls. But we want to make it abundantly clear that we don't want parking there. So The lighting, we talked about that already in the presentation, and that it would be shielded down and away from residential homes. The building design be attractive on all four sides, containing architectural features and materials that enhance the character of the building and beautifies the community. 6 is kind of a catch-all, that just to make sure that they adhere to all of the site plan and development standards within city codes. That there would be a site obscuring fence for all residential transition areas. The outside activities, no outside activities would go on the property. And this is something that is required for health department concerns, is that commercial and residential septic systems need to be separate. So any other items that you would want to see addressed, and if so, what conditions would you want to place on them to address
I have
those?
a question on your,
Turn your mic.
It's
You
on.
got it on, okay.
on our zoning on it says A5 agriculture. Now, I thought we zoned it for commercial to put this in. Is this not considered a commercial building or what?
So in the A5 zone, field houses are a conditional use. And so that's,
So it has to be approved by us?
yes. It originally, you'll remember probably from that February meeting, that this was A5H,
Yeah.
and they presented it to City Council with similar of a plan that they have here, and City Council voted to remove the A5H designation, which is a prerogative the City Council can do. And so they removed the H designation, and it's just A5 now, and A5 is a conditional use for field houses.
So now we've got the two houses on, I mean, we have the house and the building, so now we're gonna allow that till it explain that a little bit more.
So the intent is, when the utilities come to the area, both the home and the field house would need to connect to them, and then the home would need to be subdivided off from the larger parcel.
So you're still considering this as one piece of property with two buildings on it? Is that what?
Yeah. And we
Wow.
just wanted a mechanism to make sure that they separate when it's reasonable to
So
do
you're
so.
kind of considering this as like a barn or something like that, where you've got the residential? That's what
I'm not considering anything other than what it
I
is.
just got to try to figure out how this is all functioning, where, where you're basically subdividing the property, with one being the field house and one being the house. That's.
So it would subdivide when utilities are there, and then it would subdivide to whatever is most appropriate of a lot size for that. That's the plan that we are putting into this deferral agreement. That's what we discussed with the city attorney, and we felt as if this is a mechanism in which we can see that move forward. That's about as best of answer I can give you.
Other questions, comments from commissioners?
What was the staff recommendation then, based on the deferral agreement that,
Staff would recommend approval with these conditions, and any conditions you deem reasonable for it.
yeah, thanks.
Other comments or questions? Okay, this is something that we are the land use authority on this. This is not going to go to the city council. This is us, our decision. So if there's no more questions or comments from the commissioners, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to send a favor. So I don't even have to send a favorable
No.
rating, right?
Nope, this is us. We are it.
Okay, then, I'm just, as a land use authority on the conditional use permit for a field house in A5 zone, request by Ariel Martinez for approval of a conditional use permit to place field house on Utah, to deny the request for a condition. You tell me what I'm reading. Yeah, to meet all of the city and code. Yeah, plus the deferral agreement that they're entering into, including the site plan approval, parking and zoning requirements. For these reasons, to approve the above mentioned conditions noted in the approval process section.
I would recommend to your motion that you add the South Road
Oh,
as part
fair,
of the,
fair. Yeah,
as part of the review and make sure that that's,
yeah, after you talk to
if it
Public
can be
Works.
added, we add
Right.
that.
Yes, that's added to my motion.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I'm sorry,
Before you call the vote,
yeah,
yes.
I need that clarified because I don't know if he was motioning to approve.
I'm motioning to approve with the applicant entering.
With the stated conditions.
Yeah, with the stated conditions, but then also the addition of the mention of the South Road and the 2400
So
West.
if the South Road could be included with public improvements as part of the deferral agreement, you would include that as
Yes, I would.
Okay.
And we have a second from
I'll
Commissioner
second.
Frisbee. Okay. We'll do roll call. Commissioner Brinkerhoff,
Yes.
Commissioner Gettebor,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams? No. Commissioner Hamuli?
Yes.
Commissioner Frisbee?
Yes.
Commissioner Beecher, yes. That's approved. So, okay, we go to item 5.1, or 5.2, excuse me. 5.2 is a public hearing on a general plan amendment. This is a request by Payson staff to adopt the Payson Downtown Gateway Plan into the Payson General Plan. And Anders is going to give us this, as I understand. Is that correct? After you do your presentation, yes, I will open a public hearing. Make sure you turn your mic on, Anders. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And okay. Good evening, commissioners. So this is as Commissioner Beecher stated, this is a public hearing. It's a request from Payson City staff to the Planning Commission to consider a recommendation to adopt the Payson Downtown Gateway Plan as an amendment to the Payson General Plan. So a little bit of background actually first on this plan. This might look familiar to some of you because this was presented to the Planning Commission and the City Council in a joint work session in January of 2025. And in that meeting, the Planning Commission and City Council gave some feedback and requested that some changes be made to the plan that was presented at that time. And so since then, city staff have actually met with each member of the City Council individually to make sure we were understanding exactly what their concerns were, what they were wanting changed with the plan. And then we've gone back and reviewed the minutes from and the recording from that joint meeting to make sure we were understanding everything that was discussed. And we feel confident that the plan that we're presenting today reflects those changes that were asked for, and that it also continues to reflect the goals of the general plan, the economic analysis that went into this study to propose uses that will be viable with the data that was gathered. And then it also, we believe it reflects the goals of the community, which was gathered throughout the planning process. So we're excited to present what we have to you. The full plan was provided in the staff report, so hopefully you had a chance to review that. With this presentation, we'll just go through a few kind of key elements of the plan. So first off, to kind of take a step back of what this plan, what an area plan is. So it's an amendment to the general plan. So first off, the general plan, right? It's a kind of broad, community-wide vision for the city, for the future of the city, where the city wants to go, and it provides a vision. It provides goals and policies for the entire city. Um, and it goes into land use, infrastructure, transportation, several other components. An area plan, it focuses on a specific geographical area within the city, but it's similar in that it continues to provide more guidance and direction for the city, for the future of a specific area. And it goes into maybe more specifics on properties and street um, uh, goals for streets and infrastructure and architecture. But it still is more a guiding document. It's providing a vision for the future of an area. And then from there, that helps inform decisions related to the city code and the zoning map, which the zoning map identifies specific zones for properties. And then within the city code, it identifies the requirements for each of those zones, the permitted uses, development requirements. So the area plan, it really helps with, as the city's maybe going to implement an area plan, we can look at where there's maybe discrepancies between what the goal was for the area in an area plan and what our development requirements are, and where we need to maybe make changes to our development requirements to help achieve that future goal. Or maybe where there's opportunities for city initiated projects to achieve the goal. And then when there's petitions made by property owners or developers to make changes to a zoning map, to the zoning map or development code requirements, the planning commission and then city council can refer to the area plan and the general plan to see if that petition matches what the goal was that's established through the area plan. So it provides a guide for those kind of decisions. But it doesn't provide any entitlements for an individual property, right? So hopefully that makes sense of how all those different kinds of plans relate to each other. And then for this area, the city identified a need to get some more specific guidance in this specific area of the city. You can see on that map, it outlines the boundaries of the study area, which starts with the historic downtown area and then kind of continues along the North Main Street corridor up to the Main Street I-15 interchange, and kind of goes a block to the east and west along that Main Street corridor. And then it also includes some area to the east near the Main Street interchange where there's some maybe more redevelopment opportunities there. And so the city identified a need for specific planning to this area, mostly due to some anticipated transportation changes that we're going to see in the near future. So we're anticipating a kind of redevelopment of that Main Street I-15 interchange, reconfiguration of the on and off ramps. There's the potential for maybe a braided interchange there, and then also a new interchange just to the north, not too far from this planning area, with the addition of a new arterial road that will be the Payson Parkway, and a significant amount of development in that area, some commercial development near the interchange, and then a future front runner station on the north side of I-15, and some transit-oriented development. In addition, there's a UVU property and a potential for a UVU satellite campus there. So a lot of changes in the near future to this area. And then there's continued development, residential and commercial at the 800 South interchange and the MTech campus there. So with all that change, there's a lot of opportunities with that, a lot of positive things with that, but also potential challenges to how that could impact our historic downtown area and potentially draw traffic and customers away from Main Street and going down into that historic downtown area, which is really important to the city. That's really like the heart of our city. We really want to protect that and continue to promote that as a important center, and continue to help it not just maintain what's there, but continue to grow and thrive as a commercial area. So the goal of this plan is really to help help draw people to Main Street and into that historic downtown area and create a place that's unique that would attract people to Main Street. So the goals for this area really is to make as Payson's the gateway to adventure, the home to adventure, make this area the gateway to that home to adventure, to mitigate these issues that are potential issues with changes to the transportation. Also help maintain the historic or kind of small town feel that Main Street corridor has and the downtown area has, and help draw people to Payson, and then as the gateway to the Nebo Scenic Byway. And let's see. Oh, I'm going backwards here. So one important part of the development of this plan is it included a lot of public outreach. Really, the goal was to not just be a plan that's one person's idea or someone's personal preferences, but really reflects the goals of the community. So there were several things that were done with that effort. One was the creation of a technical advisory board that provided feedback throughout the planning process. There was also a public open house. I can see Commissioner Humuli there at the picture of the open house. There was a public project website that kind of helped inform people about the plan and gather additional feedback. And then one important part of it was individual conversations with some key property owners to help understand their goals for their properties and how the plan can support those and work with the property owners. So we really feel like that was an important part of the planning process and kind of seen throughout what the end result was with the plan. So as I go through some kind of selections from this plan, I tried to identify some of the kind of the key elements of the plan. And then these are also the elements that were identified in the staff report and the page numbers. And then I also, on this column to the left, am showing which sections were changed in the last year due to the feedback from the City Council and the Planning Commission. And so those include the land use plan, or preferred conceptual land use plan, a conceptual gateway district site plan, and then there were several changes to architectural precedent images throughout the plan and building height. So I'll show each of those sections and highlight the changes that were made. So to start off, one important thing that the plan did is as the planning process was starting, there was kind of a recognition that there are distinct differences in the goals for these different areas within the plan. And so it's important to recognize those differences. So starting with the downtown district, the goal is to help continue to revitalize the downtown area, promote the downtown area as a center for the city, and maybe add design standards and things that can help kind of preserve the good things that are happening there with the architecture and the uses there, but then also to maybe expand that area to other properties, and that the feel that's in that area to surrounding properties. And then as you continue north up Main Street, there's a section there where the goal shifts to preserving the historic charm or the small town feel of the residential properties and some of the historic residential properties in that area, and encourage adaptive reuse while preserving the architecture. And then into the Gateway District, that goal is to really make something that's unique from the downtown area, but also unique from other I-15 interchanges, right? Where it's not maybe just another exit where there's kind of auto-oriented commercial, but more something that has a unique feel that would actually draw people into Payson and to Main Street, to the downtown area. Something that could kind of be its own unique center. And so you'll kind of see that with the conceptual site plan and some of the plan that's put together for that area specifically. So the plan studied a lot of existing conditions with building age, building height, land use, historical significance, and then the historic district within the area. And then this is the preferred conceptual land use plan. So this identifies potential land uses for the area within the plan. So that includes residential areas, commercial, and then mixed use areas. There's a mixed use central district where basically around this existing historic downtown area, and then another mixed use area to the north. One thing there was a few changes to this map to kind of better address some concerns from the city council. One change was the Nebo School District property, where there's now two concepts. One would be to kind of maintain or reuse the existing structure on that property for an industrial use, while discouraging, I guess, more intense and more impactful industrial uses on the other portions of the property. The other concept would be to have residential on that property, which would kind of more support the economic analysis, which shows that there's a need for additional residential to kind of support the proposed amount of commercial in that area and make it really a true viable center. So in addition, it provides definitions for each of these uses, which is really important to help understand and kind of give some more guidance with what the goal is for these different uses. It's still a guide or a vision, and so it's not providing specific. Intentionally, it's not providing specific like densities or going into every use, because that's more the role of the code, is to go into those and code change consideration. But it's helping hopefully provide that guidance with those decisions. And then this plan kind of provides a little more detail of what could happen with that gateway district within the plan. And so it's showing, you can see kind of in the center, this retail area that's designed to be more of a unique walkable area that would draw people off of I-15 to that area and then into the city, into the central, the historic downtown portion of the city. So it's designed to be a kind of a unique place where it's more pedestrian oriented and you have a mix of uses. And then it includes some additional residential, some kind of maintaining what's existing with like the Payson Market and other commercial areas, but then also adding potential flex use, light industrial, in kind of that northern portion. So that kind of helps hopefully get a vision of what could potentially be in these areas within that mixed use land use. And then it also provides some definitions to the different labels that are given to the different buildings. So hopefully that can just help clarify what the vision is for that area. So another major change was to this building height map, where that was taken down quite a bit, where now the majority of this area is 1 to 2 story buildings, and we're wanting to limit the height and kind of the visual impact of the area. And then there were several changes to these precedent images. which kind of shows some architecture or some potential streetscapes of what we would hope to see in these different areas. So these pictures are for this gateway area that's shown on this map. And then the pictures here on the left are for the mixed-use neighborhood commercial area. On the right are the proposed residential areas. And then we have images on the left here for that plaza area that's identified, and then the industrial and hotel uses, and then the retail and kind of that downtown area and how which kind of match what you're already seeing in that downtown area, but I'm hoping to kind of expand that same feel to maybe surrounding properties and maintain what's there. And then this is a rendering showing that gateway section, so kind of looking northeast. There was quite a few changes to this rendering to kind of show that the changes to the building height and the uses that are preferred for this area. And then some additional renderings showing that gateway district with the plaza and the road adjacent to it. So another kind of large section of this plan was this economic assessment that was looking at, okay, what's the amount of commercial acreage that would be viable for this area, or what kind of uses best suit this area. And part of that economic assessment also identified trigger sites, which identifies as these properties that are key to kind of seeing the plan develop in the way that it's intended, where it kind of identifies these properties as being important for that, where if they can be developed in a way that matches the goals of the plan, then that would help kind of support the rest of the plan area developing in that way, if that makes sense. So it identifies 5 of these areas. So those include the North Main Street, this property on kind of the northwest side of that intersection, where there was a former church on that property, and then the city-owned property on South Main Street, and then the farmers market property on 400 North Main Street, and then the Nebo School District property, and just that whole Gateway I-15 Main Street area. So the city recently actually applied for and received a TAG, Technical Assistance to Governments grant through MAG, to kind of take the next steps in implementing this plan by doing site-specific planning for 3 of these 5 areas. So we're really excited about that. We're just kind of in the beginning stages of drafting a request for proposals for that plan, where we would have architectural and site planning for 3 of these properties to kind of help implement this trigger site idea. So the idea with that is that it's providing some kind of high level site planning and architectural planning for the property owners. So it's benefiting the property owners because then they're kind of saving on that cost. But then it's also helping the city in achieving this vision for these properties, where rather than kind of developing something that's just kind of the easiest or cheapest thing, it's developing it in a way that's meeting these high architectural standards and site standards, and kind of setting a precedent for the surrounding properties. So we're really excited about this. I mean, this property at 100 North and Main Street, it's a vacant property right now, but we really see a lot of potential with that to really be something that is kind of your entrance to the historic downtown area, right? And so there's a lot of potential for something that would really help match the vision for that area, rather than something that maybe really could potentially detract from it if it's not kind of meeting those standards. So anyway, the reason I kind of go into the detail with that is because it's important that we're able to kind of get this plan adopted, so that then we can continue to make the next steps with implementing the plan with this other grant. So another thing that's included in the plan is assessment of transportation and future demand and potential areas for additional connections, and then cross sections showing how other portions of Main Street can be redeveloped. And then this implementation kind of next steps, kind of giving us a direction for how to go about implementing this plan. So overall, as staff, we really feel like this plan reflects those changes requested by the Planning Commission and City Council. It reflects the needs and the goals of the community in that area. It can be something that will work, that's supported by the economic analysis, and that it addresses these goals of mitigating these potential threats to the area, and can hopefully use them as an opportunity to attract people to the downtown area and make a unique place. And then finally, we really feel like it provides the City Council with the leverage they need to demand high quality development in this area. That it provides the right kind of guidance that would allow them to require high quality development that is key to this plan's success. So with that, is there any questions for me from the Planning Commission?
You either did a good job or nobody understands what you're talking about.
Okay,
I just wanted to-
I'm good either way. Yeah.
I think you did a good job.
Me too.
Okay, now if there's no questions or comments, we need to go here. We need to open a public hearing.
So, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to open the public hearing on the general plan amendment to adopt the completed Payson Downtown Gateway Plan into the Payson General Plan.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All by yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, opportunity for the public to comment. Is there anybody on besides our Assistant City Attorney? Okay. You're our one public. Would you like to say anything?
She missed her chance.
Oh, that wasn't a public hearing on the previous item, so that's why it was no questions asked. Yes, we do, and we heard it all before. We heard. Thank you. So,
I'm happy to go through any slides or.
yes, you can give them to Jill or to Marty.
We've got a lot of hostile neighbors.
Okay, thank you.
Got their name on everything.
Okay, thank you. As I said, it wasn't a public hearing. We had the public hearing before, and we heard those same comments before, so. If there's no public comment, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on 5.2.
I need a second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor with yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay. Discussion, commissioners, on this item.
I think staff and the consultant team have done a pretty good job, because that was some pretty heavy modifications and stuff that came out from the original plan, and they've really tried to adapt to go to the vision that I've heard from the city council and stuff. So I appreciate the work that's been done, because I think they've tried to really bring it in alignment with what they want to see down there.
Yeah, between the technical advisory committee and what planning commission and council came about, I agree with you that
Yep.
they did a good job of coming up with a plan that is reasonable.
It was nice also to have a couple of work sessions
Yes.
in tandem with the city council.
Yeah.
So
Work
we-
sessions and public comment periods. So
Yeah.
it was good.
Yeah.
Mhm. Well, then I need a motion. This is to you go back up.
Okay, so we can make a motion to,
Recommend.
Recommend.
This is a recommendation to the city council.
to adopt the completed Payson Downtown Gateway Plan into the general
That's
plan.
one of the options. There's several options, but that is one of them, is to recommend adoption of this specific area plan.
And
This
are we
Payson
recommending it to the city council or just to them? 'Cause
No,
it
to
doesn't
the
say
city council.
in here.
We have to recommend it to the
Yeah.
city council.
Okay,
Mhm.
just didn't say it in here.
We can recommend it for approval. We can recommend it that it go back and be remanded. We can not recommend it. So,
I make a motion that we approve or send a favorable recommendation to adopt the completed Payson Downtown Gateway Plan into the Payson General Plan to the city council.
can we amend that to include the staff recommendation to provided in Amendment 1 of the staff report as an amendment to the Payson General Plan?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you're moving that recommended adoption of the Payson Downtown Gateway Plan provided in attachment 1 of the staff report as an amendment to the Payson City or to the Payson General Plan?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioner Frisbee,
Yes.
Commissioner Hamuli,
Yes.
Commissioner Adams.
Yes.
Commissioner Gettebor,
Yes.
Commissioner Brinkerhoff.
Yes.
And Commissioner Beetzer, yes. So that'll take a positive recommendation to City Council. Okay. Staff, everybody left you two. Do you have any staff comments? Okay. Commissioners, anybody have any comments that they would like to make?
I was just happy I got the email saying when we could buy tickets for salmon supper. Just in enough time. And then also the ability to volunteer. All
Talk
of
to,
the.
talk to Janine.
I did, and by the time I talked to Janine early, the first shift was all gone.
Yeah.
And this was the day after the tickets went on sale. So we're doing the second shift, but it's a great, where anybody ever talks about what we have Payson having a hometown feel, salmon supper is that thing to me. And I love when we have people that come from all over the valley to be able to enjoy salmon down here. So I'm glad that I read the email telling us when citizens could purchase tickets.
Okay, anybody else? Any other comments? Is there any training or anything? Okay. Good. I need one more motion.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Anybody opposed? Good. Thank you for coming tonight and thank you for your participation.